So Eric asked me to talk a little bit about design sprints or venture sprints, which is something that the project delivery team has been doing for a while with help of a couple of other people here. So there's been some people here involved in delivering a design sprint or a venture sprint. I think the whole idea comes from when we started the whole idea of doing project delivery. It was a lot about actually trying to do projects rather than just doing the expert consulting we've been doing at clients. And when we moved into doing projects, we actually noticed that we sometimes come in too late in the value chain. The specification is set, the client has decided what they want to build. They've almost decided how they want to build it, even if we can sometimes affect that. And we noticed that even though we deliver great software, we sometimes help the client build the wrong thing and they don't actually get return on their own investments. So with that idea, we've been kind of evolving what we as a company can help our clients with and trying to move closer and closer to be much earlier in the process of creating something. So now we do the whole ideation thing. We help clients with ideas. We help them with technology, watch how they can apply new technologies to their current problems. A little bit what Eric was talking about, going out and speaking about modern web development or cloud architectures or microservices or something like that, applying that in client business models. And we also help them test ideas. And one way you can test an idea is a design sprint or a venture sprint. So basically what we do, and this is an idea we didn't come up with, we stole this from Google Ventures and there's a whole book about it. But basically what you do is you take a team which is composed of some type of business people, business analysts, domain experts, designers, UI UX prototyping people, other types of stakeholders that might be interesting for the current thing you're building, and you stick them in a room together. And through 5 days, you try to end up at a prototype, a very high-def concept of the idea that you're trying to test. And then you put that in front of real users, and you interview them, what they thought about the idea. And that way you learn whether the idea was the right idea, if it wasn't the right idea, what needs to change, and if it was the right idea, if it was the right idea, was it the right segment of people and how would they want to adopt it and how would they want to use it. Through these 5 days, we start out the first day by defining the problem. You do that by sketching up timelines and processes. You do interviews with domain experts. Second day you move into inspirations, where you look at things you like and how they work. You pick out elements that are cool, generate a bunch of ideas. Third day, move into storyboarding mode and kind of boiling down the problem, deciding what you're going to build. And the fourth day is actually the hard day. This is if you've ever seen us do a design sprint at the office, when we sit to very, very, very late and do a bunch of overtime to actually deliver. That's when we actually go in to do the prototype or prototype. Today most of them, or I think all of them, have been done with using Sketch and Marvel app. And it's been Nate's and Carolyn and Lisa in Stockholm primarily actually doing the development of those. And then on Friday you take that out and you take it for a spin with real users. And that's really the cool idea when you do that. Because what happens is we sit people in front of a computer or a device where they get to test the thing we built. And they're being filmed or they're being casted as they do it. And they have an interviewer in the room. And the interviewer asks them, why did you push that? Why didn't you push that? What are you thinking right now? What do you like about this? What don't you like about this? What are your thoughts on this thing or this idea or this concept as they go through the workflow of the prototype. At the same time, they're being casted into another room where the whole team that was involved in building the prototype is sitting, watching them, taking notes, writing down all the crazy stuff they're doing, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong. So what you end up with when you're done is, one, you get a high-def prototype, you get feedback on that prototype, and now you can decide your next step. Do you want to do a new iteration of this design sprint? Do you want to test this idea further? Do you want to scrap the idea? Was it a really, really bad idea? Or was it a good idea and you want to bring it into actually doing a product? So this way we can minimize the risk for our clients when they come to us and say, hey, I have this really cool idea for an app. We can say like, well, instead of investing multi-million dollar bags of money into this idea, let's just go and test it first and see if it's the right idea. Maybe then we can pivot it before you spend all your money on something to learn that it won't fly. So that's one of the steps we do in the whole ecosystem of taking ideas to products and how we work with it. So now I hope everybody knows what a design sprint or a venture sprint is, and they're really fun to do, so I hope everybody gets a chance to join in on one at one point in time. Questions? No?
I have a question. Is this a package we are selling to customers as a concept? Can I say to IKEA, we want to have try this for this app?
So we don't sell design sprints, we sell testing of ideas. So if you feel they have something which is in the vicinity of this, like they should probably test this idea before they build it, you can say that we can help them with that, but please don't say we'll do it in a design sprint, because there might be other ways of doing it. We have other types of prototypes we can do. Sometimes the idea is really, really well defined, for instance, and then it doesn't make sense to drag people into a workshop and do interviews and everything if they already know what they want to test. Might do it shorter, might do it cheaper. But yes, you can tell your client, listen, you have this great idea, before you go spending all of this money on building it, maybe you should talk to our UI UX prototyping gang, and they might help you test this idea cheaper and faster than building the whole project out. So yeah, you can definitely go and talk to your clients about this. Anybody else?
When's the next one coming up?
Ooh, we actually don't have a design sprint booked. We do have a prototype session booked, which is kind of similar. We call it Prototype This. But then we more or less go and look 2 days at how the client works, because the problem is pretty well defined. So we're going to be there, we're going to look at how they work, we're going to look at their current system, and we're going to lock ourselves up in 2 weeks and build something which is very, very much more high def and actually has some rudimentary functionality in the bottom of it. And the reason we're doing it like this right now is because Alfa Laval in this case want to test this on technical people. So if they don't get the right answer back when they're clicking in the UI, they're going to get really frustrated that things that show up are incorrect. So we have that coming up in, Nate, when is that? In a week? Yeah, in a week or so. But then we're going to do the workshop part, analytics part at their office, and we're going to have it delivered from here, so the team's going to be sitting here. And it's not going to be the high-speed prototyping type of thing. It's going to be more drawn out and actually going to be built with HTML and JavaScript and more front-end developing tools than the Sketch and the Marvel app stuff. Yes?
Do we still do like UI-less prototyping, more prototyping?
Yes, we do it. No, we haven't done it in a while. There's not really that much of a demand for testing feasibility of technologies, but we can still do it if the client requires it. If there's, because what we're trying to do before we start a project is minimize 2 types of risk. So we have the business risk, which is the much more UI-facing risks. So what does the user see? Does the user want to use the application? How does the user want to use the application? Things like that. And then you have the technical risk. Is it fast enough? Can it be implemented with lambdas? Can we store data in this, in this speed? Can we use beacons to solve the problem? So when we start a project, we try to figure out those 2 risks and minimize them as much as possible. So in our offering, we do have the UI-less, more technical risk minimation type of workshops as well, but we haven't done them over the last 6 months or so, I would say.
Because we've also done prototyping where we've had hardware interfaces instead of software interfaces.
Yes.
I've not really seen them in a while, but I mean, the last one was the doorbell and Digo house.
Yes.
The last one was actually the bomb case.
The bomb case, yes.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's more about what type of clients we approach. There's been a lot of web microservice, UI UX based clients coming in rather than more tech clients. Also, I think with hardware is we are focusing a lot on being the software company delivering custom software solutions. When we do a more hardware-oriented prototype or prototype, we don't actually know how to tell a client to bring that into production. We can't take the client to the next step in those things, rarely, because we're not staffed to do that today. So it's a cool thing to do as a showcase or a demo that we can do it, but it's rarely we can pivot that into a real project. So, but yes, I mean, it would be really cool to do one, again, if we have a chance with a client to do it. But I think they're more complex from a business perspective. Yes? Does everybody know what a design sprint is now? Cool.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.